Let me share my screen. Yep. So what we were, what we had done in our previous session, basically we had understood the basics of the client application, right? We had understood what actually are the client applications. Normally, the applications which will be installing in our system, and it will be interacting outside of our system, right? And completing the functions within our system. So those specific applications are called the client applications. What are the features? Features will be like it will be able to complete the complex task in a very less amount of time. The graphics will be much more richer, and basically it will be able to have the process and menus and forms which are way much complex than the normal applications, other applications. What are the types of architectures of the client applications? There are majorly two types. First one will be two-tier and three-tier architecture. Two-tier architecture will be specific for the which will be having the server and client, right? All the front end thing will be available in the client, like presentation, like GUI of the application, some of the application level logic, and rest of the things, right? Whatever are the exact algorithm and where the application will be processing those specific things like business logic and data logic and application logic will be backend in the server. Typically, it will be sending the request and getting the response, and that is how we'll be able to see the details as well. Then there comes three-tier architecture where the client will be having the same type of functionalities, where it will be having the presentation layer, type of application logic, like all of those specific type of things. It will be sending the request to the application server, and whenever there is the requirement of the data, it will be connecting to the database and basically fetching the data or updating the data, ultimately giving us the response. Then we had understood what all are the tools and the differences, right? So basically differences between thick client and thin client is thin client will be a browser-based applications, typically our web applications. The client applications will be running locally within our system. It will be using our system memory. Thin client applications will not be exactly reusing our system memory. Whatever is being used by browser, that is the thing which it will be utilizing. For thin client, we will require internet access. For many of the thick client application, we might not require because it is just locally available. Thin client applications will be totally dependent on the backend server. Thick client application will not be. Okay, many times most of the data will be in the front end, and it will be able to conduct all of those specific things as well. We had understood regarding the major vulnerabilities, right? The testing methodology and the tools which we'll be utilizing for the next all sessions. Later on, we had discussed about our app, actually is the environment which we'll be using, right? So basically, we'll be using Windows 10 environment. This will be in virtual machine itself, because we are going to go forward and utilize the vulnerable machines or vulnerable those specific applications. So definitely in that scenario, if there is any kind of exploitation in the vulnerable application, your system might have risk to go forward and get your sensitive data to the attacker. So definitely we don't want anything like that. What we are going to use is we'll be using virtual machine where it is the fresh operating system, and we are having all the specific tools for our installation, like for our penetration testing, and we'll be utilizing the same thing only. Okay. What actually is the agenda for today's session? Today we will be understanding how we will be able to go forward and install Windows 10 operating system, right? And then we will be understanding the basics of information gathering, right? So basically, what actually are the PE headers, right? What actually will be doing in our information gathering? What are the steps? What will be following those specific things? So basically, we will be understanding the basics, so that from tomorrow's session, we'll be able to start up with our applications and going forward and understanding what actually will be our test cases for each and every phase in our information gathering as well. Okay. So this is the main agenda for today's session: installation of Windows 10 operating system and understanding the basics of information gathering, right? And basically from tomorrow onwards, we'll be starting up with our test cases for each and every phase of our penetration testing. So as we had discussed yesterday, basically we will be downloading the Windows 10 ISO image. Did you guys got a chance to download it?
Yes,
Yes.
I done.
You downloaded, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Even
Okay.
I have downloaded, but not installed.
Okay. So today we will install it. So we will. So currently I will be showing it in VMware, but even though if you are using VirtualBox or Parallels or any of the other tool, it is perfectly fine. It will not be an issue. What we are going to do is basically we will just go forward with our file. We will click on new. So for now, I will be showing it to you in my machine. Later on, you can share your machine and we will be seeing in your machine as well if you're using some another tool. So typically we need to search for this new virtual machine. Once we click on it, either we can drag and drop our disk image or we can set up that particular path here. For my scenario, I have kept my ISO image in the download. So basically here you can see this is the one. We will just take and drag and drop here. So here you can see Windows 10 and 64-bit ISO. We will click on continue. For now, basically we will give any of the account name, and here the password is necessary. So we can give the password. Let me just give the password here. Windows product key or Windows license key will not be used here. Okay, this is lifetime free operating system, so you will not require any kind of license key to access, and there is no specific trial period as well. Like for example, you will have the access of 30 days. That is nothing like that. You will be having the access to for lifetime as well. Just what you need to make sure is you can, for choosing your version, you need to choose Windows 10 Home, right? I have seen people choosing Windows 10 Pro Education and Pro and those all things, okay, and they are not getting the things which I tell, right? Basically, they need to log in with their Microsoft account and so, right? So basically here we will be selecting Windows 10 Home. Once we select that, we will click on continue. It will make sure that whether we want to enter our product key or not. We will just click on continue without product key. We will select more isolated because I don't want this to share all the things with my main machine. So we will click on continue. Here we will be editing. So basically we will customize our settings. I will just name it as thick client penetration testing. We will go forward and change two things. The first one will be the RAM. So 2 GB is more than enough. Okay, but in case if you want to increase it to 4 GB, right, definitely that is well, it is okay. For hard disk also, we will not require 60 GB, 40 GB will be more than enough, right? So this much resources are perfectly fine for us. In case if we feel that okay, there is some kind of lag or the machine is getting hanged, then we can increase it later on. Okay, this all things are configurable, so later on we can increase, but for now this particular things are more than enough for us. For network adapter, we will keep it as default one as well. Okay, net, that will be the default one. We will keep that, and we will start our machine. Now, this might take a few minutes to go forward and install, right? We will just wait for it to get started, and then you can share your screen. We will go through the steps in your machine, and then we can proceed further. Then we will be able to see how actually the installation will be completed. So we will wait for a few minutes for this to get started, and then we can jump to your machine as well. Okay, so here it is started, right? So basically it will take some time to get this particular part finished. right? And then it will start the regular updates and all of those specific type of things. Okay, so what I will do is I will stop sharing. I will allow you guys to share your screen. You can share your screen and we can see it in your machine as well. Who will go first?
Just a moment.
Sure.
I'm going to share my computer.
Sure.
Are you able to see my system?
Yes, I can see.
Okay.
Can you open your virtualization software? Okay, it is already installed.
Yeah, it's installed.
Okay, then it is not an issue. Okay, so now it is not an issue. Like you can just have like that PPT, right, where all the links are available. You can just go ahead and open those specific links and you are good to go.
Which PPT? Which PPT?
You have received the PPT from the management team, like yesterday what I was showing that PPT.
No, I
Okay,
didn't receive.
okay, let me just share it with you guys here. I believe they might be um, asking you guys for the NDA and those things to share that, but
The NDA I received. Okay, after the class only I'm going to share with you. Right. Okay, just a moment.
no, don't share it with me. Actually, share it with
No, in
email.
that group. In the group. Yep.
Yeah, so I believe they might be having some email ID or something, but not an issue. You can share it over group or it should be reaching them. Yeah, so there is that email ID, right? Info at theactivist.in. You can share it into like to that email ID. Okay.
Just a moment.
Yeah. So can you go to the last pages, like last few pages? There all the tools are available. Yeah. So here, um, can you scroll, like can you go one or two pages above? Yeah, this one. So for our current, like tomorrow session, right? These three tools will be required. So you can just copy link. You can go ahead and there will be download option. You can just go ahead and download these three tools for now. And later on, once you are getting some time, you can download the rest of the tools as well. Okay.
Okay, just a moment.
Sure. It will be in the preferences. Can you go to the preferences below?
I need to copy paste it
Copy paste, right?
actually.
Yeah.
So
That
I'm
that
looking
only I'm
for
saying. Can you go to preferences?
virtual machine settings.
And I believe this is not the one. There is, yeah, separate. Oh, okay. I believe the options might be changed. this I believe you can do after you power off your machine. Then that option might be available, because in uh, my place, like in my here, this in this particular um one, I'm getting that option after I turn off that one, after I shut down the machine, and then I
Mhm.
get it over. So I believe the same thing might be applicable there as well, but you can check.
Mm. 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 Okay, fine.
Yes, there was the first option, download the Explorer suite, right? So that one.
I just looking for the site only. That's why.
Okay.
हेलो
Yes, Kunal.
मैं 1 मिनट मेरी स्क्रीन शेयर करूँ क्या? मेरे इसमें ना एक इशू आ रहा है कि वो
Okay.
जो आपने वो ऑप्शन बोला था ना,
हाँ.
वो नहीं डाउनलोड होता, दूसरा होता है।
Okay. Okay. You can share your screen for now.
ये देखो,
कौन सा वाला?
दिख रहा है ना स्क्रीन?
एक्चुअली अभी लोड हो रहा है. हाँ.
Yeah.
ओके, तो इसको ये देखो, इंस्पेक्ट,
ये क्रोम ही है ना? हाँ.
क्रोम है।
अभी इसको रिफ्रेश कर दो. हाँ, अभी देखो आ गया. यहाँ पे सिलेक्ट एडिशन कर लो. हाँ, विंडोज 10 कंफर्म. और फिर यहाँ पे 6 विंडोज लाइक इंग्लिश इंटरनेशनल कर दो. स्क्रॉल डाउन करके इंग्लिश इंटरनेशनल कंफर्म. और 64 बिट डाउनलोड. अभी वहाँ पे जो बटन प्रेस किया था ना, वो एलिमेंट्स के बाजू वाला जो टॉगल डिवाइस टूल बार, वहाँ पे वापस से क्लिक कर देना और अभी वापस से रिफ्रेश कर देना.
इससे क्या होगा?
Then जो पहले जैसा स्क्रीन होगा ना, वो पहले जैसा ही आ जाएगा.
एंड ये जो है वर्चुअल बॉक्स,
हाँ.
यहाँ पे वो आईएसओ कैसे इंस्टॉल करूँ मैं?
यहाँ पे हमें फाइल पे जाना है. ओके, यहाँ पे मशीन, दूसरे ऑप्शन पे चले जाओ. मशीन में दूसरे ऑप्शन में, हाँ, यहाँ पे न्यू पे जाना है. ओके, यहाँ पे नेम लिख दो अभी के लिए. फिर वो आईएसओ बाद में ऐड कर देंगे. यहाँ पे क्लाइंट पेनिट्रेशन टेस्टिंग,
एंड यहाँ पे वो विंडोज 10
विंडोज
ना?
10. हाँ, विंडोज 10. हाँ, विंडोज 10 64 बिट. नेक्स्ट कर दो. 2 GB फाइन है. नेक्स्ट. create a virtual hard disk now. हाँ, अभी next create कर दो. VDI next कर दो. next कर दो. यहाँ पे 40 GB कर देना. ये क्रिएट कर दो. यहाँ पे सेटिंग्स पे चले जाओ, राइट क्लिक करके सेटिंग्स या प्रॉपर्टीज, हाँ सेटिंग्स पे चले जाओ. अभी यहाँ पे स्टोरेज है ना, यहाँ पे स्टोरेज पे जाओ. यहाँ पे देखो एम्प्टी दिख रहा है ना, यहाँ पे यहाँ पे उसके बाजू में जो SATA पोर्ट 1 है, उसके बाजू में एक डिस्क का लोगो है, राइट. हाँ, तो उस पर क्लिक कर दो और यहाँ पे हमें चूज ए डिस्क फाइल पे कर देना है जब भी वो डाउनलोड हो जाता है. ओके, तो वहाँ पे जो भी डाउनलोड में हमारा जो ISO इमेज है ना, वो इमेज वहाँ पे ऐड कर देना है. हो जाएगा. तो यहाँ पे डाउनलोड्स पे जाना है और जैसे ही वो डाउनलोड हो जाता है तो वहाँ पे वो पर्टिकुलर ISO फाइल ऐड कर देना है और फिर उस मशीन को स्टार्ट कर देना है. बस इतना ही है.
ओके. मुझे याद नहीं है एग्जैक्टली, बट काली लिनक्स तो ऐसे हम नहीं ऐड करते थे ना.
काली लिनक्स का क्या रहता था
मतलब
कि काली लिनक्स का हमें कॉन्फ़िगरेशन फाइल आता था, जैसे कि OVA फाइल है, OVF फाइल है. तो वो क्या
हाँ,
है कि
ओडीए फाइल.
हाँ, तो वो जो है ना, वो हम उसमें कॉन्फ़िगरेशन ऑलरेडी अवेलेबल रहते थे. ये क्या है कि ये डिस्क इमेज है, तो डिस्क इमेज में हमें सारा कुछ मैन्युअली करना है, कितना रैम एलोकेट करना है, कितना हार्ड डिस्क एलोकेट करना है. वहाँ पे सारे कॉन्फ़िगरेशन उन्होंने बना के फिर वो मशीन को ही एक्सपोर्ट कर दिया था, तो हम डायरेक्ट इंपोर्ट कर पाते थे. यहाँ पे ये ISO इमेज है ना, बेस इमेज, तो यहाँ पे इंस्टॉलेशन सारा, वहाँ पे इंस्टॉलेशन भी नहीं होता था, तुरंत ही मशीन शुरू हो जाता था. यहाँ पे तो सारा इंस्टॉलेशन होगा और फिर होगा. तो ये डिस्क इमेज है ना, तो इसीलिए ये सारे स्टेप्स करने पड़ रहे. अगर OVA या OVF फाइल होता ना, तो सारे कॉन्फ़िगरेशन के साथ आता, हम बस डबल क्लिक करके उसको ओपन कर पाते.
ओके.
तो
ठीक
एक
है,
बार
समझा
डाउनलोड
मैं.
हो जाए ना, फिर वहाँ पे वो ऐड कर देना और फिर अगर कुछ नहीं होता तो फिर बताना, हम डिस्कस कर लेंगे. ओके.
Yep.
हाँ,
Shall I
ठीक है. मैं
share my screen?
हाँ, अभी अभी शेयर कर दो.
Okay. So now it's
Yep.
visible for you, correct?
Yes, it is visible. Yes.
Okay. So which file exactly I need to download?
First
Okay.
one. Can you
This
scroll
is a
down?
page.
Yeah, this download Explorer
This
Studio.
one.
Yes.
Download Explorer.
Yes. Can
Okay.
you execute that? And click on finish. Meanwhile, you can take the second link as well.
And link strings.
Yes, strings. Strings and dnspy. So, possible. Yes, you can download this strings tool above this is the link, right? You can just download that.
Okay. Then another tool dnspy.
Yes, dnspy. Yes, can
The
download
latest one. 64, correct?
64-bit. Yes, and dnspy will require installation, so you can just extract that and you can start the installation. The second one, yes. You can first extract it. Then yes, you can
Okay.
double click on 𝗔𝘃𝗶𝗹. Yep, so this is
Okay, it's
also
loading.
done, right?
Okay.
And
Strings.
strings, it does not require installation. You can just extract it and keep it there. So
Okay.
extract.
Okay. That's
And
all
you
correct.
can check, you can open CFF Explorer and check if it is working fine or not. Yep, this is
Yes.
also working fine, right? Okay. So
Yeah.
for information gathering, all the tools are up and ready so that we will be able to
Okay.
go forward and see our applications in these tools as well in our next session. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Now let me share my screen and then we will proceed with seeing the installed machine, and then we will understand a few of the basics of information gathering. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now you can see the machine is installed. It will not take that much time. It takes up at max somewhere around 5 to 10 minutes, right, to complete all of these particular processes, and we will be able to access the machine as well. So this is how our so this is how our machine will be looking like, and basically this is a bare machine, right? So normally we will not be having any particular applications pre-installed here, right? So basically what we need to do is we will be specifically installing those particular applications which are actually required here, and by default we will be able to conduct the penetration testing as well. Okay. So I have already shared the PDF with you guys, right? So you can just download the specific machines, right? The specific tools which are required. For example, if tomorrow we are learning information gathering, so you can keep this particular 2 to 3 tools which are actually available, right? And basically you are good to go. Later on, you can download the rest of the tools, right? Later on, whenever we are going forward with that topics. In case if you have some more time, you can just download those specific tools all together. But yeah, in case if not, you can just download those 2 to 3 tools. It will not take more than 5 minutes to download and install this particular tools as well.
हम यहाँ पे पुट्टी यूज करते हैं क्या?
पुट्टी इतना यूज नहीं करते बेसिकली, उसका इतना जरूरत नहीं पड़ता हमें, तो
ओके.
वो नहीं करते. Okay, so now let us understand few of those specific topic as well, right? The basics of information gathering. First thing is, what actually is information gathering? Information gathering in thick client application, right? We will be reviewing multiple things to identify how actually the application is working, what are the specific things which we require from that particular application which can help us in our testing phases as well, right? So all of those specific things will be included in our information gathering. Overall, just understanding what actually are the extra details which we can find and which can help us during our testing phases as well. Now in this scenario, basically the first thing which will be helping us is called PE headers. Now we will be reviewing PE headers. What actually are these PE headers? PE headers is called portable executable, right? PE is called portable executable. What actually it will be containing within our or what actually it will be containing within our application. For example, this is our executable file, right? Executable file will be containing all the code and all of those specific type of things. But executable file will be having two specific sections. The first one will be headers, which we are telling it as a PE headers, and second one will be sections where the actual raw code or raw data will be available, right? In headers, there will be few things, which will be DOS header, PE header, optional header, directories, sections table. What actually these things will be helping us, or what actually this will be utilized for. Normally, whenever our operating system will be executing this particular file, right? Whenever our operating system will be executing these files, typically it will first of all validate whether this executable file is having all the details which it requires or not. Okay, if it is not having those specific details, it will throw an error. So overall it will be checking what all are the imports, whether the imports or whatever application will be taking during the execution of that particular application, whether those specific things are suffice or are sufficed by the operating system or not, right? What all are the directories it will be taking up, what all are those specific information regarding that application, when it was developed, what type of architecture it will be supporting, all those specific things, right? Let us quickly understand, if there is no specific PE header, what can be the thing. So I will create a new, for example, text file, right? So here there is test.exe. So I will just name it as an .exe file. Now this is nothing, right? Basically there is no specific content here. But then also, if I am just making it as the executable file, and if I open, let me just go to the properties and change the extension. So here we will change it. So at that point of time, if those specific type of things are not available within our particular scenario, let me just create a different file itself. Okay, I believe that option might not be available here in the current operating system. But yeah, what I was trying to tell is
No.
Yeah.
Actually, what you do, you need to enable the properties. From the properties, then you can see the extension. From the
Okay.
extension, you can modify it. And just open the download
Yeah.
folder.
Yeah.
No, go to download folders.
Download folders.
Windows Explorer from download folders. Okay, document and click. No, this PC. Not this. Oh, not this properties. View in system view properties. Go to this. No. Local disk C. Click local disk C. In top, you see that home share view option.
Yep.
Top above view
This one.
properties. Yeah. Click it. Nope. No. Shall I show you from my system?
Sorry.
Or just wait a minute. Can you just
Okay.
open that notepad file?
Okay.
exe में सेव करना है ना?
हाँ,
एक मिनट ओपन करो ना.
Save as exe.
Change all files and .exe.
Yep. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's changed.
Yeah, so basically this is what I was trying to tell you guys. Thank you. So if I open this, right, here directly we say it gets that this app can't run in your PC. Why exactly? Right? Because of this particular PE headers or portable executable headers. Whenever our operating system is validating or it is trying to execute that particular file, it will first validate what actually are the PE headers, right? What actually are the portable executable headers? What are the information from them? Whether it is the same architecture, whether it requires the DLL files, okay, which is actually available in the operating system, whether it is requiring some of the permissions which can be given to that particular application. All those specific things will be available in the PE headers. Now that is what our operating system will be taking up. And at that point of time, once every requirement is sufficing, then only it will go ahead and it will go to the second place where the code will be executed, and then we'll be able to see the execution of that particular code. Okay, so this is what actually will be the portable executable file. Now
header क्या करता है?
वही मैं बता रहा हूँ. Okay, now let us go in depth and we understand what actually is each and every header and what are the informations which we can get from that particular headers. Okay, when it comes to header, there are few of the distribution of that one. First one will be DOS header, PE header, optional header, data entries, and sections table. DOS header will not be doing anything here. DOS header will be the header which will be telling that this particular operating system or this particular executable file is supporting this particular operating system or not. So previously, if you see now, Windows is this particular version, right? Previously, there was the MS-DOS Windows version, right? Very old one, the MS-DOS one. So basically, it will just tell that whether it supports that particular operating system or not. Okay, so basically, there will be a specific line that this application can't run on DOS or this application can run on DOS, right? That MS-DOS operating system. So that is the only thing which will be available in this DOS header. Later on, tomorrow, whenever we are going to see this particular PE headers, we will be seeing all of these particular steps. But for now, we can understand. Basically, this DOS header will be going forward and telling us that whether that executable file is supporting that MS-DOS or not. Okay. Here there is nothing like denial of service, right? So don't think of that particular DOS. This is the MS-DOS one which was available, right? Which is the operating system which is available, which was previously available there. Then there comes the PE header. This is the place where all the informations regarding the executable file will be available. In PE headers, you will be able to see when exactly the application was created, when it was modified, who is the author of the application, right? What all are the imports and exports of the application. So in imports, what actually it will be importing and what actually it will be exporting. Typically, to conduct all those specific functionalities, it requires few of the things from our operating system. For example, currently, I'm having Zoom application, or let's assume this is my Notepad application, which I am showing it to you guys, right? Whenever I type something, definitely it takes that particular input and it shows or it completes that particular functionality, right? And now whenever I execute this application, it by default does not go forward, and by default it will not be having this particular type of access. So to go forward and complete that particular thing, it will require the operating system DLL to complete that particular function. So first of all, what actually is DLL and how operating system DLL will be utilized by these applications? DLLs are called dynamic linked libraries. Right, so basically what actually are these dynamic linked libraries? They are nothing but a piece of code, right, which can be utilized by the application whenever it requires that particular functionality multiple times, or multiple resources requires one particular thing. Let us understand with one of the very simple example. For example, I am writing a particular code within my application, okay, and there is one particular function which requires to get executed multiple times, right, within the application. For example, let's assume that there is one of the function where my application will be executing or will be trying to open up some of the file, or basically some of the specific file, and update that particular file, right? This is one of the functionality which my application is having. Now it is that particular function will not be static, right? Where it will be opening just one particular file. It might be opening multiple files at that point of time, right? So at that point of time, what I will be required to do is I cannot write the same code again and again within my application, right? It will unnecessarily go forward and take up much more space of within the executable file. It will make my code not easy to read, right? And all of those specific things will be there. So to resolve that particular challenge, what I will do is I will create one of the DLL file, which is something like files.dll. So at that point of time, whenever there is any type of file which needs to be opened, what will happen is just the application will understand which kind of file it requires to get modified. So for example, it requires something like desktop.txt. So it will take that input, it will execute the code which is available in that DLL file, and it will complete that function. Later on, if it is having some another requirement, right? So for example, it is requiring index.php or anything like that, right? So at that point of time, it will take that input, it will execute the code which is available in that place, and basically it will be able to execute that functionality. So because of this DLL, what actually will be the advantage? It will be having that particular the code will not be that much big, right? So overall executable file will not be that much big in the size, right? Because of this particular DLL files, that application code will be much more dynamic. Application can anytime, multiple times use the same functionality and execute those specific things, right? So code will be much more faster, and basically we will be able to see that particular functionality as well in a much more faster manner as well. So because of this kind of functionality, these DLL files will be used. Now there are two main types of DLL files. Again, we will be more deep diving into this particular topics whenever we are learning DLL hijacking. But for understanding what are the imports and exports, we are understanding on an overall basis itself. The first one will be software-based DLLs, right? Basically which applications will be taking up whenever we are downloading or installing that particular application. And there will be operating system DLLs, where the operating system will be having their own DLLs which can be utilized by this kind of applications. So currently in imports, we are talking about this one. In the DLL hijacking vulnerability, which we'll be seeing later, we'll be talking about this particular thing, software-based DLLs. So for example, in my system, this particular application requires some specific type of keyboard access. So what this application will be doing, it will be taking up that particular DLL file, and it will be requesting when it requires the access. For example, it will be requiring kernel32.dll. This is one of the operating system DLL which is available, right? Which does the same task, which gives that particular details or the permissions to that particular application to have the access of that particular thing. So at that point of time, it will request to that particular DLL file, and then basically when the application gets that particular details, it executes the code, it will be having the access and will be able to complete the functionality. So likewise, kernel32.dll, user32.dll, likewise there will be multiple DLL files which will be available, which will be giving out the specific functionalities, right? And that particular functionalities will be executed by the application. So this kind of imports, right, what actually it will be requiring, where when it will be executing, those specific type of imports will be mentioned, or those specific type of details will be mentioned in the imports section, okay, which will be available. Similar thing will be available in the exports as well, that after that particular thing, what kind of functions it will be exported, right? So those specific details will be available in the exports. So basically this is the main thing which will be understanding, that what kind of imports it is having, what kind of exports it is having, right? When actually the application was developed, what are those specific the author and that particular information. So all of those specific things will be available in the PE header section. Before we jump into the next headers, any doubts, any queries till now?
No.
Okay. So next one is optional header. So basically in optional header, we will be having the executable file information, right? What all are those specific details regarding the executable file, which type of architecture it is supporting, and all those specific type of details will be available there. Next one will be the specific data directories, right, and the sections table. So in the data directories, more information regarding what actually these imports will be containing, right? So this DLL files, right? In the previous section, it will just contain that these are the DLLs which are pulled, right? In this section, which is data directories, it will be containing extra information, right? That which particular details or which particular functionalities will be taken up from that particular DLL files. For example, if kernel 32 will be giving many permissions or will be giving many functionalities to the application. So out of those specific functionalities, what all are the functionalities which this particular application will be requiring? So those specific things will be available in the data directories. And the same functions detail the table format, right? That where in which particular part of the memory that particular thing will be loaded, right? That memory addresses will be available in the sections table. So this is how the headers will be available for the portable executable. Okay, let us revise it a bit, then we will move on to the next particular thing. First one will be DOS header. DOS header will be giving us those information whether the application can be executed in DOS mode or not, which is MS-DOS operating system or the current version. Okay. Typically nowadays you will see all those application will be giving one particular thing itself, that this application can't run in DOS mode, that particular thing. Okay, because MS-DOS is long gone, right? So currently all the applications will be having that particular thing itself. Next one will be PE header, right? It will be having all the informations regarding the specific executable file, the that particular what are the authors and date when it was created, modified, imports, exports, all of those specific type of things. Optional header will contain more information, whether what architecture it is supporting and all of those specific details. Data directories will be having more information on what are the exact imports and exports. And then sections table will be containing the memory address for the same. Then we will be having
मुझे एक डाउट था कि जो
हाँ
ये
हाँ
डॉस हेडर है,
हाँ
अगर वो डॉस मोड में चलेगा तो क्या होगा?
वो डोज मोड में चला नहीं जाएगा, राइट? मैं जब भी एप्लीकेशन को कोड करूंगा ना और मैं उसको एग्जीक्यूटेबल, मान लो कि मैंने अभी अपने अपने पर्टिकुलर एप्लीकेशन को मैंने सी में डेवलप किया है और फिर उसको EXE में कन्वर्ट किया है, राइट? या फिर मैंने .NET में एक कोड किया है और EXE में कन्वर्ट किया है, तो वहाँ पे मेरे पास थोड़ी लाइब्रेरीज रहेंगी, राइट? जो मैं ऐड करूंगा, राइट? जहाँ पे मैं वो लाइब्रेरीज इंपोर्ट करूंगा और वो सारा चीज, तो जब भी वो एग्जीक्यूटेबल में कन्वर्ट होगा तो ये सारा PE हेडर्स खुद ही बन जाएगा। फिर वहां पे हम कुछ चेंज नहीं कर सकते, हम बस उसको देख सकते हैं। तो वहाँ पे डोज मोड में हम कन्वर्ट नहीं कर सकते। जब भी वो एग्जीक्यूटेबल फाइल वहाँ पे मतलब अपने कोड से एग्जीक्यूटेबल फाइल में कन्वर्ट होता है, तो वहाँ पे वो पर्टिकुलर डेटा वहाँ पे ऑलरेडी बाय डिफॉल्ट ऐड हो जाता है जब भी वो कन्वर्ट होता है वहाँ पे। ओके, तो वहाँ पे हम चेंज नहीं कर सकते, वहाँ पे बस हम उसको देख सकते हैं। तो वहाँ पे एक बार वो एग्जीक्यूटेबल में आ गया, राइट, फिर वो कहीं पे चला, मतलब वो कोई भी उसमें जो हेडर में जो भी डिटेल्स है वो कभी भी चेंज नहीं होगी। ओके। पर इन केस अगर वो एग्जीक्यूटेबल फाइल बनने के पहले, मतलब उस टाइम पे ही वहाँ पे डोज हेडर जो है वहाँ पे वो सिर्फ डोज को सपोर्ट करता है, तो वो हमारे ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम में एग्जीक्यूट नहीं होगा। वो सिर्फ MS डोज वाली जो ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है ना उसमें ही एग्जीक्यूट होगा। ये जो लेटेस्ट ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम है वहाँ पे वो एग्जीक्यूट नहीं होगा। ओके, पर बाद में कहीं कभी भी वो चेंज नहीं होगा। एक बार वो कन्वर्ट हो गया तो कन्वर्ट हो गया बस। उसके बाद हम पी हेडर्स को चेंज नहीं कर सकते, बस उनको व्यू कर सकते हैं, वहां पे हम इंफॉर्मेशन गैदर कर सकते हैं। ओके।
ओके।
Okay, next one is sections. So basically in the sections, the content of the code will be available. So basically here the exact code of the executable file will be available. One thing here, we will not be able to see the code. Okay, whenever we open this kind of things, as it is converted into executable file, we will be able to only see the gibberish words or the special characters and those kind of things, right? Why? Because whenever the code is getting converted into executable file, because of the privacy reasons, right, any code will not be showing us the exact code from where it was developed, right? There are few of the workarounds which we have in few of the coding languages, right? But again, overall, there is no specific way where we can directly get the exact code of how actually it was written previously, right? So here, whenever I say the code will be there, this code can be understood by our CPU, right? But cannot be in a readable format by us. So there will be the code which will be available, but it will not be seen in a clear format, right? There will be all the special characters and unreadable things will be available at that point of time. Why this is done like that? Because today, for example, if I'm a software developer, right, and there is some of my competitor, for example, I'm developing the a thick client application for, let's assume, Snapchat, and Facebook wants to copy my code. If there is no specific privacy reasons, right, or this kind of privacy implementation, definitely they can directly extract my code, copy in their application, and they can directly run it, right? So those kind of things will not be happening, right? So whenever they are converting it into executable file, the code will not be in a readable format. Some of the programming languages has the specific loopholes, or what we can say, the specific type of workarounds from where we can get some code out of it, and we can get those specific details. But yeah, on the major part, it will not be possible for us. Next thing will be import. So all the code for importing, right? Those specific things will be there. The data, okay, the linked libraries and what all are the exact libraries data will be available there. So basically, overall, the codes and code and their particular details, right, will be available here itself. So overall, this is how the P headers will be available. Okay. Any doubts, any queries in P headers? Anyone?
Can you explain the section just once again?
Section, this one.
Yeah, only section that code
Correct.
and import and
Yes, yeah. So code will be the the executable code of the application. For example, I'm utilizing Skype or whatever are the applications, right? The code of it, right? The exact code of it will be available in this particular place. But we can extract it, but we will not be able to see those specific details. Okay. So basically, in this scenario, what will be happening is we will be able to see the special characters and those specific type of things itself. We will not be able to see the exact code here. There will be the imports. So whatever are the TLL imports and those specific things were available previously, right? Where we had discussed that the list will be there, the functions will be there, their memory address will be there. Their code, right? Their code will be available within this particular section in the imports. The libraries will be there, right? The specific TLL code will be there, and those whatever are the things which they are importing will be available. And last one will be what actually are the data, right? So in the data, whatever are those specific the coding libraries, right? For example, if I'm using .NET, and .NET has some specific type of library where it will allow me to directly create the login page, right? So I do not need to write the full login page. I just call that library, it will, and I modify the parameters, the full login page will be available within my application, right? So those specific type of libraries, whenever they are called, right, so their particular code will be available here. So overall, this will be the data in the section. So overall, the code will be there, okay, but any of this particular code will not be in a readable format. We'll be able to see just the gibberish words. So our information gathering will be majorly revolving around this headers itself. Okay. Yes. Any doubts, any queries?
fine.
Okay. Okay. So basically, this is how we will be able to go forward and see those specific things. Now, what we'll be doing? Today, our major agenda was to install our operating system, right? And basically understand this particular main topic was, which was DLL and the PE headers one, right? So this is what we have understood. Now, in our tomorrow session, we will be taking up application and we will be conducting the full information gathering phase, and we will be understanding what actually will be our test cases, which will be conducting during our applications as well. Likewise. Okay. So that is what we'll be understanding today. Before that, Kunal, can you show me whether your downloading of that operating system is like Windows is completed or not? Okay, so you it was completed the downloading, right? Now it is still, yeah, you can yeah, in case if you want, you can add Windows International, like English International. Okay, this UK, right? You can change it to that.
US.
Yeah, US will be fine. You can do that. You can click on next, install now. Now the setup is started, so you can just wait for a few minutes. Okay, and you will be having your access to the system as well.
हाँ बट ये फास्ट चलेगा ना?
क्या चीज?
फास्ट चलेगा ना ये?
नॉर्मली फास्ट चलेगा, पर इन केस अगर ये फास्ट नहीं चलता ना, तो हम कहाँ पे जाएंगे, मशीन में जाके उसका रैम बढ़ा देंगे। अभी कितना है, 2 GB रखा है, तो दो की जगह 4 रख देंगे, दिक्कत नहीं आएगी। ओके, हमारा जो
क्योंकि
दिखलाइन
ये
का
चालू
टूल्स
होने में ही है ना 10 मिनट लिया है इसने।
पहले इंस्टॉलेशन, मतलब अभी ये पेज आने में 10 मिनट लिया क्या?
हाँ मतलब ये पहले ऐसा ब्लैक स्क्रीन आ रहा था,
ओके
फिर ऐसा।
ओके ओके, तो अब फिर जैसे ये कंप्लीट हो जाता है ना, तो फिर मेमोरी बढ़ा के 4 GB कर देना। ओके,
ठीक
तो फिर वहां पे कोई उसके बाद कोई दिक्कत नहीं आएगा।
ठीक।
ओके ओके, और इन केस अगर बीच में कोई एरर आता है तो बस मुझे पिंग कर देना या फिर कॉल कर देना। ओके
ठीक।
ओके, so this was all about today's session. Any doubts, any queries, any questions, anything, guys?
Yeah, and one more
Yes.
concern that
Yeah.
recording videos also how we will get it normally.
Yeah. So